Welcome back to the BookEnds YouTube channel. I'm James McGowan.
I'm Jessica Faust.
So last month we did what we read in April, and it seemed to go over really well, and we had a lot of fun with it. So this month we're doing what we read in May.
Yes, I'm liking these. These might be some of my favorite videos.
Me too. It's probably a little selfish because we were just replacing the conversations we have weekly in the office. But...
Oh, it's totally selfish. That's why I like them.
Yeah, exactly. But other people seem to enjoy it too, so it's a win-win.
They don't have to watch it either.
True. Well, here's my stack for May, and I'm cheating a little bit because...
You had 5. Oh,
well,
there's a few on there I want.
I'm still reading this one, and it's technically June when we're filming this, but I'm really liking it, so I just wanted to include it and tell you about it.
I really didn't get as much reading in. I have 2 books, and then I have 2 audiobooks that I'm going to talk about. So I had 4. I feel like, you know what it is? It's that work has gotten a lot busier. It was quieter in March and April, and now it's not just picked back up publishing, but I feel like it's picked up on speed.
Yeah, it's like reinvigorated itself.
Yeah, so I'm much busier now reading submissions, and we've been offering on clients, and I've been doing a ton of revisions with clients, so that's all exciting, but it's slowed down my pleasure reading.
Right. Well, that also means that when we're not working, we don't want to be reading as much.
Yes, I've been distracted. I also...
and the weather's nicer.
I was just going to say that. The weather's nicer, and things have opened up a little. So we've been entertaining a little on the patio and the porch, which has been nice. So, but it's all cutting into my reading time. So do you want to start? Or do you want
Sure, I'll go first. Where do I start? Okay, so I read 2 mystery thriller books.
Oh, you are a ton of French junkie.
I'm a ton of French junkie. So I admittedly held on to this book. I did not read it because I could not bear to not have a ton of French book to look forward to.
That's hilarious.
But she just recently announced her new book, which is coming out in October this year. So I was like, okay, I can finally read this book. It did not let me down. It was the perfect ton of French book. It follows Antoinette Conway, which is one of the characters from the last ones. And it's just that perfect literary writing and beautiful exploration of her characters with a dead body. I mean, what more can I ask for?
MSWL, people.
Huge MSWL. Anything ton of French comparable, I am all over. So really, that's an easy way to do it for me.
MSWL, for those who don't know, means manuscript wish list. And for writers and queriers, that means that's something that James definitely wants to see in his inbox. Yeah.
So the other one that I read was If We Were Villains. I've been seeing this one. There's a different cover, which I saw.
Oh, maybe that's fine.
It's a cover of like a skull. And when I got this cover, I was like, well, that's not what I was expecting. Anyway, it was actually really good. You might enjoy it. It's set in this elite acting school for Shakespearean actors.
Oh.
And there's a group of 7 friends, and their roles on stage start to get like very intertwined with their actual friendship and their actual lives. And then one of their friends ends up dead. So it's told in dual timeline. The guy who went to jail for it is telling the detective who was on the case what actually happened. But it was so good, really twisty, and like the writing was excellent, and it was all Shakespeare related. So coming out of grad school studying Shakespeare so much, I really enjoyed to see it like in a contemporary setting. It was really good. I'll bring that one in. You might like that one.
Oh, please do. Please do. And I have to confess, I have not read Ton of French.
No way.
Yeah.
I thought you did.
I think because you talk about it so much.
You just had that experience.
I just haven't read it.
Oh my God. Well, she's all the way up on the top shelf for me because I like her so much.
There's got to be one floating around in here. Maybe I'll put that in my June list because I'm feeling a little stuck in June right now, so I could use something.
Okay, well, after the video, I will break down all of the reasons why I think you should read certain books first.
Okay.
Anyway, your turn.
I'm looking forward to that.
No, you're not.
Okay, so I did sort of I did an interesting read this last month that I read some nonfiction in areas that I actually don't represent. And then I read 2 fiction that I just adored. So I'm going to do one of each and then one of each. Oh, maybe I'll do the nonfiction first.
Okay.
So I did audio. So then I hold up a piece of paper, and I did Why Not Me, Mindy Kaling's.
Oh yeah, I heard that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
And the second one I did, which I actually don't have a picture of, so I'm sorry, was Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay.
Oh, okay.
They're two kind of different books. But Mindy Kaling, for me, I've been walking Olive, the dog. And I was listening to some audio, and I just needed something that I thought would make me laugh and not, like, I wouldn't have to think.
Yeah.
And it was fun. You know, Mindy Kaling is fun. I adore her. So that was a lot of fun. And Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay. I don't know if you're familiar with Roxane.
Yeah, I am. I follow her on Twitter.
Yeah, she's fantastic on Twitter.
Badass.
And really, like, gives no Fs.
None.
I had read Hunger, which is her previous collection of essays about really eating, you know, food.
Which, if you watch YouTube, you know, we both very much enjoy.
I love food.
Yeah.
Yes. In fact, I believe today is the day I tweeted that 2020 is a cheat year, not a cheat day.
Yeah. Made me feel good on the inside.
Made me feel good, and then I ate a York peppermint patty. That made me feel better. So Bad Feminist is Roxane Gay's collection of essays on feminism. Her, definitely not Mindy Kaling. Definitely darker and heavier, but I really love her writing, and she really speaks out, and she tells these stories in powerful ways. And if you haven't read her, it's easy because it's essays, and I don't represent essays, and I don't represent memoirs or celebrities, but these two are great, and they're different, and I learn a lot from reading things outside of my norm.
Yeah.
So even though I didn't read, but I read, those were
sometimes it's nice to engage with those very pop culture books just to get a sense of what, like, the masses are thinking.
Yeah.
That makes sense, because everybody those are two wildly popular books.
Yes, absolutely.
It's nice to see what other people are reading and thinking and talking about, and
Yep.
to partake in that.
Yeah, and a lot of times we can take those and think in different ways about the other kinds of books we're representing. They might even give us ideas. Things are blowing around. I kept all my windows open, so things are blowing around. Excuse me. And then there's going to be lots of outside noise, but I couldn't, you know, I hate being locked down. But anyway, I digress. So yes, they were both great. I recommend them.
Okay, well, I should have included this with the other two, because it is a mystery thriller kind of thing. I don't know what I was expecting going into this one.
Yeah, don't know what I'm expecting by looking at it.
Yeah, it's actually Lisa Scottolini's daughter.
Oh, wow, that is a big book. Holy mackerels!
It is.
I don't have time for that.
It's like this super commercial mystery thriller set in Harvard. A girl's brother kills himself, and they believe he's schizophrenic. And she goes to Harvard to sort of follow in his footsteps, but also to see what happened, like to really find out what happened.
Is it contemporary?
Huh?
Contemporary?
Yeah, and she starts to hear the same voices that she believes her brother heard.
Oh.
A great concept. It was super fast-paced. It was one of those books that I started and then realized that I was halfway through, and I just couldn't put it down. It was one of those, just one of those books.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do my favorite of the month last.
Okay.
So I'm going to do this one, The Flight Attendant. And I have been stalking this book probably since it was...
The deal announcement, because we talked about it in the deal announcement.
Okay, so I have been stalking this book for a long time because I am obsessed with airplanes. I don't know why, but any...
Plane crashes, plane flyings, like any state of duress the plane is in, it's all...
I think there's something about airplanes that make very interesting settings for books. So anyway, so a book called The Flight Attendant is, of course, going to grab my attention. He's definitely a thriller writer. And this is, what's interesting is I felt like it was, like he has like an old school thriller flavor to his writing, but the story itself was not at all. So it opens up, and this flight attendant who has a lot of, she's an alcoholic, she's got a lot of issues, and she wakes up in a hotel room in Dubai where she's on a layover, and the man in bed next to her is dead. He's been,
Oh, wow.
yeah, like bloody dead, not just dead, like murdered dead.
Like,
And she has very loose memories of everything that happened the night before.
blames the alcohol.
Yeah, well, yeah. So, so she doesn't really know what happened. She's unsure if perhaps she did it. And the story progresses from there. And
Very
it
girl
goes,
on a trainee.
what?
Very girl on a trainee.
Yes. Bigger, because it sort of becomes a little bit potentially an international incident since it happened in Dubai. He's American, but she's American. But she actually just leaves.
Oh.
Like, she doesn't hang around. She just gets on her plane and goes on her next job.
That sounds good.
So, you know, you're sort of trying to figure out if she did it because you don't know. She's kind of running, but not. So, so yeah, it was good. It was a quick read, and it's a great.
I love a good unreliable narrator. Like, when I don't know, should I trust this person? That's such a fun read.
Yeah, and also her unreliability isn't necessarily so much that she's a liar, which I think is a little more interesting. I think unreliable narrators, when you just don't trust them, are they can be a little, but when they don't know if they can even trust themselves, is to me when it's a little more interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
So I like that one. There's going to be a big pile of books over here when you get back.
That's fine. I will have to bring a big bag worth for you because there's a lot that I've been reading I think you'll like. So I also, wow, I threw that.
Oh, that has been on my list.
So it has not been on my list. And
Okay.
I don't know why this never crossed my radar.
Uh-huh.
But I bought Apple TV and I watched Oprah's book club, and Ta-Nehisi Coates was on it. And the way he talked about this book and all of the quotes that Oprah read hooked me. And I was halfway through the episode and I went over to Bookshop and I bought it. But it's such a brilliant concept. It's the slave man he's got this perfect memory. But the one thing he can't remember is his mother, who was sold by the plantation owner. And the plantation owner is his dad, and he kind of gets brought up to work in the house. And it's very magical realism-y.
Yeah, that's why I'm excited
right.
about it.
And it's all about his journey to both remembering his mother and piecing together that part of his life, but also his journey to freedom. It was such beautiful writing. And I know Ta-Nehisi Coates writes nonfiction too. He wrote his essay collection, Between the World and Me. And that's where I knew him from. So I don't know how this book never crossed my radar, but I'm really glad that Oprah helped it cross my radar because it was really a good one. His writing is just, you start right away and you don't really have a clue what's going on, but it's just all revealed to you in like the perfect pacing that it gets you all the way to the end. I'll definitely bring that in. I loved it.
Okay, well then I have to wait for it. We might have to meet somewhere and do a book exchange.
It's true. Maybe I should like send a UPS box.
Yeah. The problem with these discussions when we have them is, okay, I only got through 4 books in May. June seems to be off to a slower start. And yet somehow I have like 12 books I'd like to start tomorrow.
I can never pick too. And I've been trying to support as many publishing books, like currently publishing books as I can.
Yeah.
Not good. I mean, it's great, but it's not good for my decision-making skills or my reading habit. Because now I have like this big stack of books that recently came out and I just don't know where to start.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned at how many you've been buying because there's no way you can keep up with that.
No, I had to really scale it back.
So the next one, which was my favorite book of the month, was Emma Straub's All Adults Here. And this was a Reese book club. No, this was a Jenna book club with picks. I guess it was a Today Show. It looked good. It looked kind of, I wanted something women's fiction. I didn't want it to be super heavy. And I, like you had said, I didn't really know what I was getting with this book. Oh my God. This book is every single piece of my MSWL list in one book. I couldn't believe it.
Are they in Alaska?
No.
Okay.
They're not in Alaska.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to poke a hole in your argument.
No, it's sad. No, it's a family story. It's a mother to 3 grown children. I seem to be reading a lot of those lately, or I guess I'm getting one of those a month. And all of the children sort of are coming back home or home for various reasons, and they each have their own storylines. And then there's a storyline with one of the granddaughters, and the storylines, each storyline is so compelling. There's a lot of diversity in the book, which I love. And also it's all really just like, it's not sort of these, like, the story isn't about the diversity. The story is just about the family and all the different experiences they have. Their father died when they were young, so it's sort of about how that defined each of them because of their different ages they were. Yeah, really. I don't want to give away too much about because I think some of it I'd give away too much of the book if I tell you what some of the MSWL things in it are. But yeah, I was completely blown away by this, and it was, like I said, it was much more complex than I expected, and I really loved it. So if you're writing women's fiction and you want to know what I like,
so this is a bit of a cheat because I'm still reading this one, and it's technically June. It's called The Vanishing Half. It's a little hard to see.
Yep.
This is also a Riverhead book. It's by Britt Bennett. She's the author of The Mothers, and it was a Good Morning America book club. I have been waiting.
About this.
Huh?
I don't know anything about this one.
Really? It just came out last Tuesday.
Okay.
I think it was last Tuesday, and it's a #1 New York Times bestseller.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I did see that on the list.
Yeah, it's about 2 twin sisters who sort of run away at 16 from this town that they're living. These twin sisters, their lives kind of diverge, and it picks up with one of the sisters returning to the town after this trauma in her own life, and sort of unfolding everything that sort of happens and led to them, and how their stories diverge but are intertwining again. And I love a good story that kind of weaves together the past and present.
Yeah.
But I just started it a couple days ago, and any opportunity I have, even if it's like 2 pages, I'm picking it up to read.
That sounds so good.
Her writing is incredible. Have you read The Mothers by her?
No.
I've not read it either, but it's on my radar because this one I'm really enjoying.
Okay, put it on my list.
So definitely a cheat, but I had to get it in there because of how much I'm enjoying it.
That's fair. That's fair.
And that's all I've got.
I think I need my next read. I think that's where I'm a little stuck right now. Yeah, so those are our books. I'm excited. Now I feel like I really need to get into my June reading, which it's fallen behind. It's going to be a short list this month, I'm afraid. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
A lot of other things to take up our time right now.
Well, if you've got any book recommendations for us, we'd love to hear them down below. And I always put a book recommendation in the query letter. I'm not going to lie. And if you've read any of the books that we talked about, let us know what you thought about them.
Yes, and are you subscribed? Don't forget to subscribe.
And, like the video.
Did you already say that? Did I just
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that part.
Okay.
We're a mess. See you later.
Bye, guys.